Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we know the sitch. We know the sitch right now.
Okay.
Kim Possible is getting a live-action movie reboot, which we talked a little bit about before, and now the official trailer has dropped. Now, fortunately, it's not a theatrical. It's not a theatrical release. It is a made-for-TV Disney Channel movie, and it looks like a made-for-TV Disney Channel movie. And people aren't happy.
No, they're not. Imagine that. It's funny. Go ahead. You can share some of the comments.
Okay, so this is the official trailer. If you haven't seen it yet, it's on Disney Channel's official Twitter. It's on YouTube. It's all over the place. So you're thinking, okay, cool. We got the trailer. Are people excited about this movie? No, they are not. I don't think there were any positive comments.
There might have been one or two.
Y'all really tried it. Where's the actual trailer? Everyone disliked that. Why does this look like Spy Kids combined with Hannah Montana? Where in God's name is Rufus? This comes up all the time.
Yeah.
Where is Rufus? I'm like, I personally think Rufus is not in it, or if he is, he'll be an actual mole rat because I think it's going to cost too much for them to do him in CG because this movie looks cheap.
Yeah.
Y'all could have kept this. Disney Channel is blocked.
Well, real quick, I want to mention something on here. It's funny, too, to me that there are a lot of these commenters. There are a lot of women, but there are a lot of men commenting, too.
Yeah.
So I want to know, where are all the articles talking about how the small group of men hate it because they're mad because they put more clothes on Kim Possible and that there's something fundamentally wrong with them and they're perverts and they just wanted to fap the Kim Possible and that's why they hate it?
I think they had, didn't they originally, when it came out, people were complaining about the costume choice or something, and that's disappeared now. Why
aren't they being told there's something wrong with them?
Because it's ageism. It's ageism. This is okay. So here's the thing: if it's an '80s franchise, you're told you're a crusty old person.
I got told I was menopausal, even though I'm not even anywhere near menopause.
In regards to She-Ra, not being happy with the She-Ra reboot, because Kim Possible means a lot to millennials, you're not seeing that. There are clearly a lot of people unhappy with this, really unhappy with it.
Where are the articles talking about how they're bad people, how they're this ist and that ist, or this phobe and that phobe, and there's something wrong with them fundamentally because they don't like it? I'm looking because what's interesting to me is with the articles that are out there that are coming out from the usual suspects, the ones who shit all over She-Ra and talked about how the original sucked and how the new one's so great. They're writing articles and it's mostly just factual things.
It's very factual. It's very by the book. I think there are strong feelings about this movie, but I think the friendly media are not saying anything about it because they don't want to.
But how come they could shit all over She-Ra?
Because it doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's it. It doesn't mean anything to them.
Maybe it's not for, maybe the Kim Possible isn't for you. Maybe it's for children.
So this trailer dropped yesterday. Again, a lot of people aren't happy. Went out to some media outlets. There are stories. Most of them are very, middle of the road. It's coming out on X date, February. It stars XYZ. They're not really giving an opinion. Now, noticeably missing from all of these sites is the Mary Sue. The Mary Sue, which is very quick to jump on anything and give a hot take, is not really even covering Kim Possible.
Why? Because they don't like it? So
I think they don't like it.
I think a lot of these people don't like it, which is why they're just sticking by the books and the facts, not giving opinions. Like they had whole pockets full of opinions on She-Ra and why there's everything wrong with She-Ra and how men who didn't like it, it's all men who didn't like it. Women who didn't like it didn't exist, and men who didn't like it were just perverts. Where are the articles talking about what's wrong with these people who don't like it, how they're old, how there's something fundamentally wrong with them for not liking this? Because, the original Kim Possible was shit. Why was the articles that? It wasn't. We loved the original Kim Possible.
Yeah, I love Kim Possible. That was a great show.
I'm just saying, where are the articles talking about how campy and crappy the original one was to make sure this one's elevated?
You're not going to see it because, again, this is kind of the double standard you saw with Buffy. Because Buffy meant something to millennials. Buffy was above being rebooted. You could not reboot Buffy. You could not make people happy about rebooting Buffy. And kind of same with Charmed, I think, in some level. Charmed people, there was some backlash against that because it means something to that generation. If they don't remember it, like She-Ra or Transformers or G.I. Joe or Star Wars even, if it didn't mean anything to that younger generation, then just you know, piss all over it and whatever. And if the old folks complain,
it's a double standard.
Right, and everything is going to be rebooted, guys. You don't understand this. If you're all like, you know, hey, you know, this means something to today's kids. Well, you know what? It's not going to mean anything to today's kids in 20 years. It's going to get rebooted, and you're going to be pissed. You know, and people are pissed. They're pissed.
But my only point of bringing this up is because it's like people were not allowed to not like She-Ra. You're just told you're not allowed to. But these people are allowed to not like this Kim Possible thing, and no one's calling them names and telling them they're ridiculous.
Give it time. I think eventually people will probably start to speak up more. But yeah, there are a lot of... I mean, what are they going to do? What's the story going to do? Because with She-Ra, they tried to paint it like it was just a bunch of sad, middle-aged white guys...
who couldn't get off to She-Ra
anymore. Who couldn't get off to She-Ra.
They covered Kim Possible up more.
Right. And in this case, we have a lot of women, a lot of people of color.
Well, there were a lot of women who didn't like She-Ra, too, but they got completely dismissed.
Right.
But I'm just like, you know, now here's the thing. Does the Kim Possible trailer look pretty bad? Yeah, it does. I mean, I feel your pain. I'm sitting here mad about this. I mean, I'm not saying these people specifically were the ones who said stuff about She-Ra, but it's the same generation of people that were the ones that were being so mean to anybody who didn't like She-Ra. I totally get how you feel. Totally get where you're coming from, and I'm not going to shame you for it because I understand. And you're right. It doesn't look that good. The original was good.
Yeah, it doesn't even. Yeah, it looks cheap. It looks cheap. But to be fair, you know, Kim Possible is not something. I think we talked about this before when we first mentioned this coming out. Like, I don't think it's going to translate to live action. And if it would take a ridiculous budget, I think, to actually pull it off. It would take a director with vision to pull it off. I mean, you know, the vibe would be more like Spy Kids, but Spy Kids actually had a budget. It was theatrical. Yeah. You know,
I think they would have been better served to do an animated movie.
Yeah.
But that costs a lot more money.
Yeah.
I think that's why you're not seeing much about Rufus, because everybody's like having a fit. Where's Rufus? Where's Rufus? I think it's because either you said he's going to be a real, you know, Nick and Mole Rat, or he's just not going to be in it because that costs money.
Yeah, and the thing is that, you know, budget cut CGI is worse than no CGI at all, and I could totally see them doing like some really out of place, goofy cartoon looking dancing mole rat. I think if he's going to be in it. I don't think so. I think if he's going to be in it, I think they'll, because they got the kid from the Goldbergs, I guess, playing Ron Stoppable. I think if they have him, it'll just be like, oh, here's my pet naked mole rat, and that's like it. Right. I don't think they're going to go there because it looks like they're trying to be quasi-realistic with it.
Well,
and
everybody kept asking where Synergy was in the Gem thing when the trailers came out, and they didn't show her to the end, and then it was like, oh, I see why they didn't show Synergy.
Yeah.
She looks like shit. So, I mean, it could be they're possibly putting it in. Who knows? A lot of people are upset about the lack of Rufus. But, I don't blame you. I think this would have been a much better choice to have been an animated movie than ever to make it live action. I think that was a really bad choice. And then my next comment is, why do we have to keep rebooting every effing thing anyway?
Because we're out of ideas. Hollywood, I'm completely convinced at this point that Hollywood is out of ideas. That basically, you know, it used to be back in the day to get a break in Hollywood, you had to come up with that $1 million idea. You had to be freaking, you had to be a Steven Spielberg or a George Lucas or somebody with vision who wanted to tell a unique story. And now you've basically got a lot of paid fan fiction authors, recyclers, you know, people who don't have any actual creativity anymore. And so they just keep going back to the same wells again and again.
Well, and studios too just want to keep on the cash grab. They can't want to, I mean...
Yeah.
The cash grab. Why? Well, let's reboot every animated feature ever as live action films that no one wants.
Do we really need a live action Lion King?
No.
No. I mean, the movie
was done so well originally. You don't need to do it again.
Yeah, in some cases, I can see them rebooting. Some of the Disney animated movies that maybe weren't as good. Like Jungle Book, I think worked out really well because the original Jungle Book was not an A-list, a top shelf Disney. It was, you know, there were a lot of issues going on. Walt died during the production.
I think Treasure Planet and Atlantis would have both worked well as live actions.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, you need a Lion King and Aladdin as live action. I mean, Aladdin I can see working before Lion King, but it just gets to a place, it's like, why? Can we just get some new stuff?
Well, I think that's it. I think the studios, because the studios are out to turn a profit now at any expense. So what they're doing is like, what worked in the past that made us money? Oh, Lion King was a big hit. Aladdin was a big hit. You know, Beauty and the Beast it was a big hit. Let's just reboot it again and again and again. What was? Let's go back to the 2000s. What was a huge hit for us back then? Oh, okay. Kim Possible was a big hit. A lot of people like it. It's time to reboot it. But in this case, like, if you're gonna reboot it, at least put some money behind it. Because this, I mean, I think maybe you could do a Kim Possible movie if you actually had the proper budget to work with, because you are dealing with a lot of like high-tech stuff and whatever.
Right.
Even Spy Kids. I mean, Spy Kids was kind of done on the cheap, but it still looked theatrical. Ish. This just looks like a cheap. It just looks like a cheap movie.
Yeah.
It looks like a movie of the week, and it's not. It's just not going to work. I don't think it's going to work.
No, I mean, and at the end of the day, I mean, I get why people are upset. I tell you, we understand because we've been there, and I like this comment.
This is probably the best comment right here.
Who are y'all making this for? Because the people who watched it are not around for it, and these kids know nothing about it. Why y'all have to keep it in my childhood memories? Yes, exactly. Get in line, because the people that are who they making She-Ra for? It's not for the fans. They said so.
Yeah, they flat said, and the people who, most of the people who worked on the Netflix She-Ra show don't remember the original, so it means nothing to them.
Same for Thundercats.
Yeah, same for Thundercats, and that's kind of what's going on here, you know. And we're gonna see this. This is gonna happen more and more and more, you know, as time moves on. But now it's like it seems like the gap is you know, shrinking a little bit. It used to be that you'd have a couple of decades until they'd reboot something. Now we're like, oh, let's just go back 10 years and reboot something from 10 years ago. And you know,
where are all the people commenting it's not for you?
Nobody. I don't think.
I think I just see one person comment. Well, it's for kids. It's not for you, because and somebody, I noticed like on the She-Ra thing, anytime anybody complained, they either got called names, got told there was something wrong with them, or they get told, the go-to is always, it's not for you, it's for kids. Where are these people not being told that it's not for them?
This is a catastrophic reaction. I mean, this is so, like, I don't think there are hardly any positives at all. And this is on the official Disney Twitter. Like, this is a fail beyond fail.
Well, the good news is that
bad.
the kids that it's made for might like it because you know it's for them. So maybe that's the excuse all the time. So I'm just saying. I
don't know. It looks bad. It looks bad. I'm sorry. It looks bad.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap this one up, I guess.
Yep.
This has been Neon and Geeky for Clownfish TV. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, rants, art videos, gaming videos, and more. And we'll keep an eye on Kim Possible and see if it looks any better. If Rufus shows up, we'll do a video on Rufus. Okay, bye.
Bye.